Okay, we are live. Hello, Star Wars fans. Hello, people who love unboxing shows. My name is Darth Tuba, and I actually have a YouTube channel called Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show on YouTube. Just search Darth Tuba, and you should find it. It has been in existence for about 3 years, and what do? We unbox. We talk about unboxing. We talk about unboxing all the great Star Wars toys and collectibles that are coming out, both new, both somewhat vintage, both and very vintage, and we open up and just have a great time doing it. And I just love to collect Star Wars, and I love to share my collection with the world. So thank you so much for joining us. And before we continue, I do want to say, like with all the panels, Get Vocal is thank you to Get Vocal for sponsoring Forcefest, and be aware that Forcefest is going to be running a Make-A-Wish campaign to fundraise for Make-A-Wish. You can check out all the information either in the chat or just go to getvocal.com and you can see everything there. If you're on Get Vocal, if you see the little blue diamond up there, you can use that to help make a donation. I think their goal is 3,000, and we're getting there, man. We're getting up there pretty fast. So let's see if we can finish that sometime today. So enough talk. Now let's get into 10 types of toys you can unbox. Now, honestly, folks, you can make this 100 types of toys. You can make this 1,000 types. I just kind of narrowed it down to 10 basic types of toys that I love to unbox. Okay, and that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to quickly go through them. We're going to talk about when they were made, what they were, around what time they were made. And then we're going to shift over to the little overhead cam and do a quick unboxing, do a quick look through them. If you want to watch them in a little bit more detail, you can check out my channel. I generally do just a handful of items per each episode. We drop on Sundays and on Wednesdays, and we'd love to see you guys there. Subscribe, like, share, all the rest of that stuff. I haven't seen too many YouTube channel people that aren't also podcasts. This is really just a video format. So thank you so much for being here. And if you're not here right now and you're watching it on the rewatch, thank you there. So let's get started. So what kind of type? Why do I unbox? My main reason for unboxing, folks, is that look behind me. I don't have a lot of room, okay? I have a limited amount of space in my Star Wars collecting area, and box toys tend to take up a lot of room. So many years ago, I had a flood in our basement, which sadly flooded out a bunch of and damaged a bunch of box toys that I had. I took all those box toys and I set them up in a pile, and after everything dried out, I just decided, well, the boxes are destroyed, so I might as well unbox them. So I did so, and I realized that I had a lot more fun playing with the toys, taking them out, putting them together, displaying them. And I thought, you know what, that's what I want to do. So I started doing that, and it's been, wonderful and fun. And I've been really more connected with my collection and with my collecting habit and talking to other people about it. And it's been so cool. And so almost 4 years ago, I started a channel, and you can check. There's been I think I just uploaded episode 379. So there's been quite a few. But why don't we start talking about the 10 types that we're going to unbox? My first type, by the way, this is in no order of importance or greatness or anything of that nature, just my own personal list. And the first time I'm going to call it new vintage. What is new vintage? Well, anything, in my opinion, that was released in the early 90s, or I should say the mid 90s, 95, up until say through the prequels, because that stuff is now 20 plus years old. In fact, that stuff is kind of approaching 25 years old. So yeah, that's vintage. So here are two examples of some vintage. We've got for the more regular action figures here, we got the Power of the Force line, Kenner collection, Kabe and Muftak. Okay, it's a nice 2-pack. Okay, and we also have the Collector series, and this is when Kenner made their return to the 12-inch line with far better articulated figures. Of course, now we have high-end 12-inch collectibles, which I'll get to in a later on. So let's get going with these. I'm going to start with this guy, and I'm going to switch over to my other cam here. Got my stuff in. I apologize if I'm kind of jumping in and out of the frame. I'm working on trying new ways to do this. I was just joking. I know Mrs. Darth Tuba, you're in the audience right now watching. Make sure you don't come down here right away, because this place is going to looks like a tornado went through by the time this channel's over. Now, all those people who's like, oh my God, he's ruining the value of the toy by doing this. No, I'm not. I believe that a toy, I subscribe, pardon for if there's any noise coming from my plastic stuff, but I subscribe to the theory that a toy is worth what somebody wants to pay for it. And therefore, I do not really mind if these things are unboxed. They bring me a lot of joy and happiness. And someday, if somebody wants to buy them off of me later, let me do this. All right. So there is, I believe, Muftak. Okay. One of the Cantina alien species. All right. Now, I believe, now I've been told by my moderator that this is the right side up. It's actually upside down for me. So that's going to be fun. All right. And let's get, we'll put him there. Let's get Cabe going here. I mean, the action figures are really the heart and soul. Here he goes. Let's do that. There he is. There's a little dude. I'm trying to read that. Actually, can you flip them? Okay, now I'm flipping him. All right. All right, I'm flipping him. Sorry about that. Is that better? Which one? Is this better? I think that's it, right? Or do we want it the other way? Which way do we want it? They are upside down. So thank you for dealing with me. Are these better? Is this right side up? Yeah. Say yes or no. That's it. All right, cool. All right, so that is our first unboxing in terms of those figures. I'm going to leave, you can leave it on that camera. I'm going to move these guys out of the way. I'm going to switch up to the collectible series here, or the collector series. These were a fun addition to Star Wars collecting when they came out in the 90s. I think the year on this was 97. Yep, it was a few years after the entire thing did so. These were so awesome because we had a 12-inch line of figures that came out in the 70s, but it didn't last beyond the first wave, the main 12 figures, and then, or 12 or 13, I think. They never really continued the next one, so it was one of those things where we never had them for a long time, and then all of a sudden, boom, they start coming out with them, and they came out with a lot. But between 97 and around 2005, 6, they came out with probably close over 100, well over 100 actually, 12-inch figures. So there's some really cool stuff there. All right, but they also made them very, very hard to get out of the package. So I had to have to take care of these. All right, so we got him out. Oh, we got to get his blaster. Now I have 10 types of things, but I do only have an hour, so there's a chance that some of this might have to get either seriously abbreviated or we're going to have to skip a few. But we'll see how we do. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the time here. All right, so there we have that. We can. Why don't we switch back to the other camera there, the main camera angle. And of course, these don't have removable helmets or anything, so. Here we got the AT-AT driver, just a really cool figure. And as you can see, you see me coming, showing you things about the AT-AT driver. You know that they made a lot. All the main characters from all 3 films, back when they just had the original trilogy, and then they started doing the same thing with the prequel trilogy. Fantastic. So they later replaced them with a very 5 points of articulation, very inexpensive, like $9 ones that weren't as good, but they're still kind of fun. Those are for the more sequel trilogy. All right, putting that off to the side here. All right, number two, that was new vintage. Now we're going to talk about battle packs and exclusives. Okay, battle packs and exclusives are essentially a battle pack would just be, a pack of multiple figures. Okay, sometimes they put them in action poses. These were more popular in the early 2000s. Okay, I do believe they're bringing them back, though. I think they're bringing the 5 POA figures back, coming very soon, actually. So you'll be able to. It's actually good for the wallet because you usually get a discount by buying in bulk, buying this many. We have this team of. This is a PX preview, Crimson Empire, which was a comic book. Okay, so they have a nice Crimson Empire setup here, and they also have a Target exclusive that's just a 2-pack. But I mean, exclusives are great because generally speaking, particularly in the late 2000s when the Clone Wars came out, they would do a lot of exclusives from Target, Toys R Us, Amazon, and just about even Walgreens now has exclusives. And a lot of times those exclusives are action figures that you really couldn't get anywhere else. Here we have the Senate Commando, Captain and Commando 2-pack from the Clone Wars. So it was kind of cool. So let's switch it back over here. Thank you to Justin, our moderator. He's working a little harder for me because he's going back and forth between the two things. I know. And again, folks, just be aware that I do this under my own desire. There are some toys I do not unbox. There are some toys that I decide maybe that I want to keep in there. Maybe sometimes if I do keep them inside, it's generally because I just think the packaging is so much better. And I apologize if my my camera is going out a little bit on the opening. That's just because I'm using a phone for that. Palpatine. Excellent. All right, I'll just get all these out and then I'll kind of feature them here. So basically, this was, again, a comic book that told the story. Of course, now it's considered legendary. It's not considered canon. But it was a story talking about the way that the Red Emperor Royal Guard basically became. Get these up a little bit further up there. How they all kind of came to be. They would kind of fight each other to the death for the honor to be the Emperor's guards. So we had 4 different colors here. We have had, of course, like an orange, a blue, a red, and a yellow. We had, of course, the Emperor. We had, of course, Vader. Normally, I would get them standing and kind of doing a whole show on that, but I'm not going to bother with that right now because, again, I'm just talking through lots of the different unboxings that we have. These are helmeted figures. The helmets do come off. You can see there. So that was cool. People ask, what do you do with them after you unbox them? Well, generally, I will put them under either a display of some sort, or I will put them in the smaller plastic cases, and display them on a wall. They take up less room that way. But generally speaking, I try to get them at least in some kind of a diorama format for part of it. All right, let's get these 2 out of the way, or 6 out of the way, I should say. A lot of them are repacks, like Vader and Palpatine, or what they call a repack, which is essentially that it was a figure that was released before, and they just repack it with these. But all those figures that were, the figures that were the new colored Crimson Guard, they were, of course, brand new. So, and a lot of times with battle packs, they might repack the entire thing. It might be something. So I have to be careful when I'm looking at repacks because I try not to buy the exact same figure over and over again just because it's re-released. I mean, people do that so they can buy it on the different card. But my feeling on that is that, hey, I'm unboxing them. What kind of card? What do I care what the card is? So I've not been seeing so much with comments yet. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to leave something in the comments. I will try to take a quick peek at that. For those who are new to this, here we go. Captain and Commander. I do not believe these masks come off. A lot of the Clone Wars figures, and I've said this on previous episodes, the Clone War figures, they tend to be a little bit more lanky, a little loosey-goosey. They're definitely trying to follow the animated style. I could go back to the main screen for a second, and I'll get another close-up at these. So there are these 2 guys, okay, and really cool. I love the Clone Wars stuff. That came out, obviously, 2008 to 2013, 14 or so. So very good there. Okay, number 3. Number 3, the third type of unboxing is what I like to call custom. Okay, there is another art form kind of told and done in Star Wars collecting now, and that's basically customization, taking figures and using things like Sculpey and clay and whatever materials you can to basically resculpt the entire figure. And that's really cool, making up characters that didn't exist or whatever. Really cool thing. I never really got much into that myself. And I enjoyed watching other people's progress and things that were shared on the internet. But then a wonderful invention called 3D printing came into play, and then the floodgates opened, and people had a great time. So I'm going to unbox this one. This is something that I purchased from a creative artisan that created a Star Wars figure that has not ever been released. So we're going to do that right now. So it was mailed to me about a week or two ago. Okay. All right. This is the Mungo Baobab action figure from the Droids cartoon line. Now, I believe, and you can believe in a chat if this is wrong, but I'm pretty sure that this was. Oh, we have somebody. Are there any toys you prefer to keep in the packaging? Oh, excellent question. Yes, there are. I like to keep toys in the packaging that is set up like a diorama within it of itself. Like there's been like a Lars homestead included in the igloo, and a moisture farm. The moisture farm evaporator thing, and a couple of characters kind of in a pose. I try to keep those there. They're a beautiful diorama. There's no reason to unbox them, but there are times where sometimes the box gets damaged, or if I'm just running out of room. But those are the types of things. And in terms of vintage, I do have a small collection of vintage carded figures that I have not unboxed. So because there is only so far I'll go where I'll say, oh my God, the value is not so, it really is something I have to take into account. Now, this is another example of something. I unboxed it, meaning I took it out of the mailbox it came in, but I'm not going to actually unbox it. This is a reproduction. There's no two ways about it. Some people are very much against reproductions. This is a reproduction of a prototype. Okay, this figure was on the second wave of Droids figures that was never released. It was supposed to be released, I think, in 86, 87, and never did. But this customizer and 3D printer person did a really good job of creating a pretty cool figure. Even did a coin, although the coin's a little brassy, but it is a good thing of a coin. Now, if anybody questions if this is real or not, all you got to do is look on the back. It's blank. It's a blank card. I always try to find something that clearly shows that it is not an original, but this couldn't be anyway, because they really, unless you happen to have the prototype, which would be extremely rare. So we can go back to the other section. So yeah, so that's that. And I'm trying to build up a collection of the entire wave of Droids and Ewoks figures that weren't released. But again, as simply as a fun reproduction, now that 3D printing, it makes it so much less expensive to do. They make them much less expensive to purchase. So that's a good thing. All right, we're going to move on now with number 4, which is Hallmark. Now, I will say, in full disclosure, I have the personal Darth Tuba family is involved with Hallmark. I have a cousin who runs, and her dad, my uncle before her, runs a Hallmark store. And I am always that's the one thing that I'm always getting, like the first dibs on all the Hallmark collectibles, ornaments, and things of that nature. So this is just one of usually what is about a half dozen ornaments that Hallmark releases each year. This is for this coming year. It's a BB-8 ornament. I believe it is BB-8 with the thumbs up feature. So that is one ornament. You can go and check my channel out for watching future episodes. So let's, why don't we get that open right now over here? And a lot of these come with batteries. I try my best to, oh, this one has batteries. Oh, dear. Okay. I'm going to hold off on the batteries right now, folks, just because it just takes a little bit of time to do. So I will do that on the next episode. But the cool thing, now there was already a few BB-8 ornaments, but only this one has the little thumbs up thing, thumbs up little feature with the little pilot light there. So very good with that. As I said, what I will do is on a future episode, I promise I will check out my YouTube channel and you'll see a whole unboxing probably pretty soon. I won't lie to you. I think that I tend to like to open up the Hallmark ornaments before the end of the summer. So we'll put that over there and we'll kind of redo that later. All right. So that was number 4. And why don't we stick to the holiday theme and do number 5? The holidays and Star Wars have a long, illustrious history, and I love that. I will say that one thing that is the one item that has come out a few times, it's kind of hard to see with the glare. I'll try to get a little bit more close up, is these, I guess you can say, this is a holiday 2004 edition of Jawas. This is actually based on Ralph McQuarrie art. If you look on the back, you can see that I have a little piece, a little sketch. I think it's Ralph McQuarrie art. I'm pretty sure it is. Essentially, yeah, definitely Ralph McQuarrie. For a lot of years, well, even today, even now, even to this day, Lucasfilm would send out Christmas cards to all of their VIPs and all their workers and everybody who was employed or attached to Lucasfilm. And for many years, Ralph McQuarrie did the art for the greeting card, and it was fantastic. It was so much fun to see and to see what kind of stuff he came up with. Well, Hasbro and Kenner got a hold of this. I guess it's Hasbro at this point, and they started creating these little vignettes as action figures based on the Ralph McQuarrie art. So here's one. And again, they've done a lot of things between Lego advent calendars, of course, the Hallmark ornaments, and who can forget that the infamous holiday special. Karina, I know you're in there. You're in the chat. Make sure you're working on your holiday special figures for Richard Woloski of Skywalking Through Neverland. He wants the concept art. So let's switch back over to here. We'll get this one open. Now, this one is kind of weird. It's really just a pedestal with the two figures, which is one of the reasons why I'm opening it, because it has a really cute base that just basically has the, it basically just has a little sand, two gifts, and then you just stick your little Jawas right in here, and I got one here. They're each holding presents. It's a really cute thing. I've been thinking about putting together, I'm going to just set it up like this right now so everybody can see it. And these are the original Jawas that, with the light shining in on the top, you can actually see their eyes sort of glow. So that's really cool. So yeah, I've been pretty excited about that. Now, of course, now you're just getting a heads up view of it. But so yeah, I enjoyed the having these around. But again, there's a lot of real estate that the packaging takes up. So we're going to move on with that. So all right, very good. Actually, let's go back to here. I'm going to give this another close up just so you can see it like this way. So this can be something you could put up, you know, just around the holidays, or you can put a little holiday diorama with this. There's been several of these action figures, you know, based on the Ralph McQuarrie holiday card art. Okay, number 6. Oh, we're already halfway done. I can probably slow down a bit. We have the number 6 type is Galaxy's Edge. Okay, Galaxy's Edge. Folks, Galaxy's Edge is, if you don't know what that is, it's the new land in Walt Disney World and Hollywood Studios and in Disneyland in California. That is a whole Star Wars cornucopia. You're stepping into it. You are stepping in, and they want you to tell your own story. They specifically did not want to make Hoth or Tatooine or another planet we've already heard of. They created their own called Batuu, Black Spire Outpost on Batuu. And they want you to be a character in their land and tell your own story, which I think is a very clever thing to do, and I'm really excited about it. So there are all sorts of things that you can do. You can build a droid, you can make a lightsaber. I will say at the moment, pandemic being what it is, things are a little different, but it's the Florida park is open, and I believe the Disneyland California park is going to open very soon. They seem to be getting ready for it to open, so we'll see what happens. But this is one of the many things that you were able to pick up there. It's unique to Galaxy's Edge. You can only get it at Galaxy's Edge. And if you've watched any of my old channel, you'll see me, talk about this in a recent Disney haul. And this is the Jedi gear set. It's essentially things that you can carry around as equipment if you're dressed like a Jedi. Now, I will say that there are some rules that you can't dress up there's like certain ways you can dress up and certain ways you can't. And I say this around here because there's so many amazing Star Wars artisans and creative people that there are people that dress up as Jedi that rival what the Jedi dressed like and looked like in the movies. So they don't want it to be that good because they don't want them being mistaken for cast members. So, but nonetheless, it's really great that they give us this great stuff to do. And on top of that, on the back, you see that there are some figures. Those are for the hologram communicator. You can put them on. So why don't we switch back and we will open these up. Okay, let's get this one out. I don't think there's any battery power to any of this. I could be wrong. And so you've got your macro binoculars. Okay, not that this. I don't think this is anything specifically related to Star Wars as much as it's just something that kind of looks the part. But it's a nice little prop. That's cool. You've got your communicator. Now, this definitely looks like there's supposed to be batteries in this, but I could be wrong. I'll have to check this. Oh, maybe not. They might have wanted it to be batteries, but it's essentially, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it's essentially just a women's razor. That's what they used for the Qui-Gon communicator prop. But they did a nice job with this. It's a nice hand. It's very lightweight. Definitely can be connected to a Jedi belt, and you can use that as a way to communicate. It doesn't have any moving parts in it, though, so I don't believe... Oh, wait, off on. No, there is an off on button. Okay. I'll have to check it out for... we'll have to look at it later for batteries and see what they need. So that's number 2. And then we have our... Oh, before I do this, let me get my 3 characters out here. You got your 3. Oh, this is interesting. It looks like you pull this out, and then you can. I'm trying to figure out how to do this on the fly. Oh, there. I guess it's just like that. So you have your General Grievous, and I do believe that there's a battery pack in here as well, but I don't have the batteries with me, so I'll have to just wait and see. Tune into a later episode. Then we have. Let's see if this is. Okay, I think it might be something you twist in. But there's Yoda. And my least favorite, because it's hard to see from the phone, but this is Commander Cody. This is him actually holding the badge. Holding not the badge, holding oh, there it is. He's holding his communicator. Okay, switch to the main viewer. And it's basically when Palpatine says, "Execute Order 66." Scary, scary, sad, tears of devastation. But they're really cool that they have these 3 things as a nice opportunity for you to role play in a really cute, cool, and fun way. All right, I'm going to leave those instructions out there so I know about how to switch out the batteries. All right, and we're not done with Galaxy's Edge. We also have a droid. We have to get a droid. I mean, we have C-3PO. And this is not, there's been a few 18-inch larger scale figures that have come out. But I got to be honest, I've not seen one as fun and as more together and more with more playable features as this one. There's just been some really cool things that they've come out with here. All right. Okay, he's got some serious things. Sometimes when I have to, I break out the big guns here and I work on trying to cut things out using some clippers, just because it takes a little less time, and I get tired of these twist tie things. But I'm just keeping dibs on time. Oh, we're not even a half an hour. Okay, so we're good. We're awesome. People ask me how long I've been collecting. I don't mind telling you, I just celebrated my 49th birthday, or as I like to say, I'm at level 49. And I have been collecting since I was 6, when my brother and I received the first Star Wars collectible each, which was the action figures. I believe I got Luke and R2. He got Chewie and Vader. And for a while, he would never let me play with Chewie. But my brother's awesome. So, of course, eventually he said, I was the younger brother, and he said, "Yeah, you can play with my figures. You can have my figures." So, always an awesome brother. If you watch this on the rewind, my brother, thank you for being the best. Oh, now, all right, let's get this guy almost untwisted fully. Now, there are a few things here I got to be careful of. All right, I got to double check the box. I won't do that right now, but so we got this nice posable little guy here, and it's really cool. You're speaking to my mic there, sir. Movie sound, awesome, and really cool. Moves around a little bit. He's got a little bit of the. Let's put his arms out a little bit. He's got a little bit of this going, this little action. And I do believe... Uh-oh. He actually loses his limbs, which is a cool feature. And I think I don't want to be too messy with this. And for those episode 1 lovers, and I know you're out there, I am one. Proud, loud and proud. We got the pre-skin naked C-3PO. Oh. So he's gonna take a little spot right here next to me. I don't know if he's gonna stay standing. I hope he does. All right, there you go. Try not to cause any trouble there. You know what? I'm a little nervous about him falling, so I'm gonna actually put him down here just to keep him safe. All right, so that was number 6, Galaxy's Edge, and I got to tell you, I'm not going to do it today because honestly, I just forgot to bring it here. But another thing that we have from Galaxy's Edge is a very brand new release that just happened today at the time of the recording or the live streaming of this, and that is Target, and I think the Disney Store also have their own line of Galaxy's Edge merchandise from the galactic outpost of Galaxy's Edge. And some of the stuff is just repackaged stuff from Galaxy's Edge, but most of it is brand new, only available in Target, some cool exclusive stuff. So check it out. It's kind of cool. Like I went early this morning and checked it out, and it was like having a little mini Force Friday. So that was awesome. But let's move on to number 7. Now, some of the reasons that I'm moving along a little faster right now is because some of these are going to take a little longer, okay? So number 7 is high-end large vehicles, okay? And when I say high-end large vehicles, I'm talking about things like the Black Series. The Black Series Snow Speeder. I know that there was a panel that just went on and they were just talking about that. Oh, got to read my comment here. Oh, you're building the Lego set. Oh my God, I love that. I love the Legos. I do collect Legos, but not in a completist fashion. I just kind of pick and choose whichever ones I want. I saw the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge one. I didn't pick it up yet. I probably will get it but it's so sad. I want to get a Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Lego set just so I can have a Commander Beckett minifig. That's a lot of Lego for a minifig, but it is really cool, and I like Beckett. And if you don't know who Beckett is. Or Beck, not Beckett. Beckett's from Solo. Beck. If you don't know who Commander Beck is, go on Galaxies, go to Rise of the Resistance, and you will know. But let's get to this one. This is the Black Series Snow Speeder. They don't make too many vehicles for Black Series 6-inch figures because they're so big, but the Snow Speeder isn't too big of a vehicle to do, so they decided to do that. So I think we can switch it up to the other one here. It's going to be a little bit big. Use your judgment. If it's a little bit askew there, why don't you you can switch it back. But just give me a second here to get it out of the box. This comes with a Dak figure, Dak Ralter. Poor guy thought he could take on the whole Empire himself, and didn't last too long. So, all right. Gee whiz, there's a lot to this. Okay. Drop that over there. Yeah, I think it's a little bit. It's not too much to put together. I'm not going to go crazy with. I will say this: if there's any decals, well, maybe I don't think there are actually. I think the decals are pretty good. But just going to get it out of this little protector here. All right, that's one thing. Put that here. And then, of course, he has his trusty missiles. I don't believe this is an electronic piece, but it might be. So I always have scissors, box cutters, all sorts of nifty items just to make sure I have, because you just don't know what you're going to need. Wow, okay. As I said, it's got a little breakaway section. That's cool. I can't forget Dak himself, which is, looks like this is all of Dak's extra accessories, since they did not include oh my goodness, what is he coming with here? Gee whiz. Comes with a lot of little stuff here. Oh, not quite sure what that is, to be honest. All right. All right, now I think we are all done with anything extra. This is just like padding. So you can go over. Just making sure, yep. All right. So again, sorry for the slightly off. All right. Doesn't look like this comes with any electronics, and I'm honestly of a mixed opinion when it comes to electronics for toys. Only because there obviously means that you need batteries, and I'm almost wishing that they could start doing things where toys could be could come with like USB chargers or something of that nature. Now I got to be careful with these because sometimes I have to do them the opposite way. All right. I think that's the case here. Yep, that went in. Yeah, that's something that's a little tricky thing that they do. They don't make them reversible. They make them only one side, and you can, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. And you have to rethink it. Okay, so we're doing all right with this. I will say that, is there a way to open up the hatch? Okay. Well, the hatch actually comes off, that's typical of hatches coming off. All right, there we go. Oh, they come with like seat belts and everything. All right. So I'm gonna. Oh, this comes. I see. This comes with the. Put it over here. This comes with the little, not grappling hook, but the gun thing and the chargers. That's what these are. Okay. So I'm just gonna drop these inside here in the front for Luke because he'll need them. And then that gets his little helmet and he gets put up right here in the back. It is nice that they finally made the snow speeder, the Hoth pilot gear, which looks a lot like the X-Wing pilot gear from the first movie, but it is a little different. It's obviously equipped for snow. Then you got your little cover here. Let's see if I can get these in. Come on, you got this. You got this. There it is. And then you got a little cover. So you have a little breakaway thing. If I get there's a little bit of play in it, which is good. But that works out, being able to take it out if you need to. All right. So look at that. And does it come with a landing gear? I don't see it coming with a landing. I'll have to look and see if there's it does look like there's stuff in here. I don't want to do it right now, but it does look like there's some. Remember, it's meant to be. I mean, somebody said it again on the Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary, toy panel that just aired right before mine, or a little before mine. Somebody made a good point that these rival the models that were made for the movie, and I get that. I agree. They do. They model it. It has a little cable comes out. So there's some really cool things to it. So, but I don't believe it's meant to be something that you I think it's something that you either set up as a display piece. I don't believe it's something that kids are going to play with too much. Okay, but it's funny how it's not that much bigger than a regular snow speeder. So that is really cool. I managed to get the first landing gear done. I think there are more. I think that there's 3 sets of landing gear. Come on. All right. There we go. And one more. Yay. All right. 3 sets of landing gear. Cool. All right. So we'll put that right here. I'll lay it here for a second so you can see it doesn't really do much different. It stands pretty much the same. It looks almost identical. It just rests slightly off the ground. So there we go. All right. Oh, good. How are we doing here? All right. We're getting close. Again, folks, if you have any questions, I did get 1 or 2 questions in the chat. Please feel free to continue doing that. Okay. Now, Richard Woloski, I don't believe he's here at the moment. Is he here? I can't tell. Well, if he's here, he and I have this little thing going back and forth. He does not like if I talk anything about doing the cardinal sin and opening up a vintage item. And I told him, well, then you better not watch my channel because I'm opening up a vintage item. But, disclaimer, I'm opening up a damaged vintage item. All right. That's the biggest thing to be aware of. This is and you can already tell by the look of it, This is a fell over already. This is Anakin Skywalker on a tri-logo card from the Anakin, the older character played by Sebastian Stan from Return of the Jedi. And yes, I did get this, but I will say, some people asked me what I unbox stuff. I have a collection of vintage carded figures, not the whole collection, just, I pick them up from time to time. To save money, I don't buy a pristine mint card. I buy them slightly damaged, maybe, but usually it's just a price tag, stickers on there, or the punched part is ripped, or there's a slight paper tear on the bottom or in the back, or maybe the bubble's yellow, that kind of thing. This one was very cheap because not only was it, the card itself is actually in pretty decent shape, but the bubble was almost completely disintegrated. So you'll see that in a moment. This one, yeah, it's literally, it's so brittle. You don't have to go to the other one since I just opened it. I mean, look at this thing. I'm going to show it to you from the side here. I mean, it is like, there's hardly anything left of it. It's like completely destroyed. So, figure's good though. Figure looks pretty good. So I just kind of like hide them in there. So sorry, maybe I'll repair it. I'll do a vintage, restoration of a figure. But I owe that to Richard Roloski because he's so nervous about toys being unboxed. And I say, toys are meant to be played with. It's okay. All right. So where were we? That was number 8, vintage Kenner. I promise you, if I had a mint or even close to mint or even something that was somewhere in the same zip code as mint, I would most likely not open it. Okay. I have enough, and you can buy those. Plenty of those toys are available loose. You can buy them for far less money if you really want them loose. So that's kind of what I stick to. And, I have a lot of the old vintage toys that I had when I was a kid, and I played with them, and that's it. So I don't need them in boxes. In fact, one of the things I like to do is I have actually like to save boxes. I have a lot of boxes here that I use on my display they're empty, but these are the boxes that the toys originally came in. And I love the style of the boxes. I love the look of the box. I love the design of the box. So I don't want to get rid of the box. I just don't want to leave the toy in the box, I guess. Sometimes it's impossible to put the toy back in the box once you open it, which is one of the reasons why that's a whole thing. All right, guys, we're down to the wire. We got two more. The number 9 one, foreign. Now, this is hard, saying this, and I should say foreign to me is anything not made in the United States, or I should say not made and regularly sold in the United States, as most toys are made in other countries. But for you, depending on where you're from, it could be toys that are released in the United States. I understand that, but I'm mainly speaking specifically of toys that are not made in this country, that are not normally sold in this country, that are more have a market overseas. In my case, we'll be talking more like Japan, things like that. So there is a company, Bandai, that has made lots of their own kind of style of figures. It's slightly bigger than 3 3/4 inch, and not quite as big as the Black Series. But I do occasionally like to pick up some items from Japan. This, of course, is the Mandalorian. So, and this is really great because it actually comes with, just like some of the high-end collectibles that we have, it comes with, a lot of better, different hands, different faces, different helmets. So in this case, this is one thing where I might unbox it, but I actually keep the box because that's what I use to store all the extra hands and extra helmets and extra stuff. And I pick one thing out. So let's switch over to our thing over here. All right. So there he is. There's the Mandalorian. And I'm going to just get this little plastic top off of that. And I got to be careful, guys, because, again, sometimes the figure style is not always what you think it's going to be. Now, this one, as you can see here, I will point out that it comes with his fists are just gripping fists. At the moment, I am not going to change this. I'm going to just leave it as is. Whoops, except his head just came off. Which is actually not uncommon when it comes to these figures, because they're kind of like anything can happen on live TV. There we go. They kind of have a almost model-like quality to them, okay? Because they do they bend, they have their things, but they do kind of. Oh, and yeah, here's heads. That's one thing I will tell you with. I have had some issues with that. So poor Mandalorian. He took off his helmet, and his head came with it. That's so sad. So unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it right this second. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna have to just let that one go. So, oh, poor Mandalorian. And again, I will say this, folks. Most of what I've been doing today is just unboxing, okay, and not really talking much about the toy. But I do also do toy review, and I will tell you that what I would say about this toy is that it's really cool looking. This is obviously the pre-Beskar armor version, and it's really cool looking and has a couple of options, as you can see, for weaponry and hand placement and stuff. But I'm a little bit aggravated at the weakness of the toy, that it just is not. It's not a very strong toy. It comes apart. It's definitely not meant for display only. It is not meant for play value. So I might actually just keep it displayed in the box, to be honest with you, for the time being anyway, just because it is a little bit, I'm worried about it getting damaged, and that's the way of it. So this is the way. All right. And that leaves us with our final box unboxing, our final type, and that is anything high end. And you know what? Lucasfilm has released no shortage of high end collectibles. Okay, no shortage of high end collectibles from back in the 70s and 80s. There really wasn't anything at that point. Then they started coming out with, in the 90s, you started getting like model reproductions by companies like Icons or Code 3 collectibles, I think. And then they started coming out with master replicas, which were these amazing replica models, but they were always too out of range. And then it kind of grew and grew and grew. And then eventually, not to mention people that were just going crazy buying props online, like actual screen used props and auctions and stuff. But that was into a stratosphere of money that I and most people I know don't ever think we're ever going to be able to use or do anything with. But then a company called Sideshow came along, and they kind of took over the license of the 12-inch figure from Kenner / Hasbro. And then it's also been kind of passed along to Hot Toys, which Sideshow works with or owns or something of that nature. And they've come up with these really beautiful, high-end, awesome figures, okay? And they have released a bunch of them, quite a few actually, not just for Star Wars, but also for Marvel and DC and just about every franchise you can imagine. So this one, you can probably guess if it says SLSW HSMT. That means something. A 1/6 figure. So let's see what it is. Okay, well, I can say this. SL, Solo. SW, Star Wars, like as in Solo, a Star Wars story. HS, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, Han Solo. And then MT, Mud Trooper. Okay, so this is obviously from Solo, a Star Wars story. Getting a lot of buzz lately with talks about a TV series possibly getting in the works in the future at Disney Plus. It's becoming like this cult following because it didn't do quite as well. I love how when they say a movie didn't do quite as well, if it was any other movie franchise, it would have been considered a mega hit. I do know that they spent a lot of money kind of reshooting a lot of the movie after they changed directors, but I still feel very strongly that it was an outstanding movie. Oops, he's upside down. So there we have, we got a little donation. Thank you, Get Vocal. Awesome. Okay. There he is, the Mud Trooper, which you can actually display. Now, I've said this on previous episodes. I absolutely adore unboxing these figures because even the box is just amazing. And no, I don't throw these out. I keep them, again, mainly to store all the optional grips and arms and everything else. Okay, but there he is, Alden Ehrenreich's character, Han Solo. And there you got the Mud Trooper. You can also display him like that. We'll see what he looks like when you take him out. And let's see what we got. I'm just going to keep dibs here. Okay, we're almost at the 10-minute mark, so this shouldn't take me that long. But as you can see, he comes fully packed with lots of other options. And he does come with a stand, which is awesome. All right, let's do that. Oof. All right. So, yeah, getting him out there is it's a little bit tricky. But now, if I could offer one criticism that I'm going to say, I'm not a very critical person when it comes to Star Wars. I always feel like there's something to love for every movie that's come out. And I mean, I don't mean it like, at least something. I mean, I think most of it is lovable and enjoyable. And I walk away smiling at every movie because I had such a good time. So therefore, I don't really think that there's anything to be that upset about. However, what I will say, oh, come on there, Han. There you go. What I will say, the one thing about this movie that was a little bit disappointing was the lighting. And it was just hard to see the movie. I mean, it was such a great movie, but it was hard to see. It was very dark and dingy. And I get that was part of maybe the look of it. That was part of the thing that they were going for. But I just feel as though it made more sense to be able to see the movie because it was hard to see sometimes. Not all of it, just parts of it. All right, you can go back to the main one here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be a little bit unconventional, and I'm going to utilize his little base here. There we go. Move this a little closer. Okay. Oh, he's got all right, his little mud cape here. There he goes. All right. So what are we going to put on this guy? I think he's got to have his. Now he comes with. Interestingly enough, you can actually remove his head, or not his head, his hair. So let me do that. Yes, it's weird. These figures are very strange. Head comes off. There he is, Balden Ehrenreich instead of Alden. It's Balden. But I'm going to give him. Does he get? I think. Yeah, he gets his. I think this is the helmet. This is like his helmet hair. This is why I wanted 10 minutes. Oh, there he goes. All right. And then there it is. Okay. And he gets his goggles, which I'm just going to leave on top of his head there. Okay, cool. And then he looks like he has, what else does he have? He has a couple of different things to do with hands. Now, I will say this, I've said this before, I'm not a fan of the hand and arm situation with, I'm not a fan of it because they are sometimes really hard to get in. I can't, it's like really, it hurts. It's like painful. Ugh. See, I'm telling you, it's really, really hard. And here I am, running out. Oh, it looks like, wait a minute. They might have improved this. Yep, looks like they did. They improved it. Thank you. Sideshow, Hot Toys. I always use both because both of their names are on here. I know that it's really just Hot Toys, but okay. And then the last thing he's got his, look at that side photo here. Yeah, looks like I'm going to just place. I think, you know what? I think I'm gonna ditch the gas mask only because he is. I want to see that awesome Alden Ehrenreich face. There he goes. Except he lost his gun. What are you doing there, Alden? Harrison Ford wouldn't have lost his gun. I actually think Alden did a good job on that movie. I really do. All right, so we'll keep him like that. He's got his nice little base. And extra different hands. We can put him in all sorts of different positions if we want. And maybe I'll throw a little bit of a AT-AT Walker here up top too, just to kind of show the difference here from one era to another. Of course, this guy's not even going to stand up because some people don't have stands. That was a bad idea. All right, we'll just leave that guy up here. Well, no, I can put him up here. I can put him there. I've got to keep him from falling. There it is. Stay. We're almost done. Can you stay a few more? All right, we are at the 10-minute mark. Or actually, no, now we're at the 6-minute mark. So those are 10 types. Now, of course, there are all sorts of types of that are great for unboxing. I mean, you can unbox, all the different children's toys that come out. You can unbox Legos. I've done Lego unboxings where I've done fast, high-speed builds of them. Go check out the big Millennium Falcon. I did that about almost 2 years ago. And we can also do any number of things that also came from Galaxy's Edge that don't fall into this. Costumes, costume pieces, all sorts of different things, and play sets of any kind. So, the unboxing types are really unlimited. So, do I have any complete sets? Ooh, good question. I am not what you would call a completist. In fact, I oftentimes will make purchases of stuff that I like, things that move me, things that I, maybe characters I really enjoyed. I don't always try to complete a set. If it's not that hard to do, I will try it. If it's like collect all 6 or collect all 10. But I've gone through so many action figures, and then about 8 or 9 years ago, I kind of lined them all up on the floor and looked at them all and realized that I don't really feel like as a collector, I don't really feel like I need 27 different Han Solos that are in his black vest. I'm exaggerating, but it was realistically like 11 or 12. And it was the exact same figure, maybe a slight repaint, a slight change of the hair or whatever. So I knocked that down to like 3 or 4. And I ended up selling off the rest. So I tend to do that, and that actually funds the recycling into the collection some more. So I don't really do a lot of completing every single thing. I mean, I'll try. When there's if a wave of figures comes out, say Rise of Skywalker had a wave of say 7 or 8 figures, I'll try to get all 7 or 8. Usually if I can get out there early enough, I can do it. Black Series does a lot of stuff online, so I'll try to order it through like Amazon, which is pretty much the cheapest place to order it, and you get free shipping. So, it's that kind of thing. Do you have a favorite? I'm trying to read the thing here. Do you have a favorite item you have unboxed? Oh, do I? Well, that's tough. Do I have a favorite item? I love collecting, and I love all the different things. Everything has a story. I do prefer trying to go out and find stuff. I do like going out into the store and finding them, because at that point I think of different things that, especially like Force Friday. Those are really fun events to go out and see. I really enjoyed that. Do I have a favorite? Well, my favorite collectible is an item that was actually not purchased, but it was won for me by Mrs. Magalio, or Mrs. Darth Tuba, and it was a R2-D2 cooler that came out during episode 1. Short story was Pepsi was a big sponsor. If anybody remembers back there, they've sponsored a lot of stuff. PepsiCo, the company, and my wife worked for a company that had a grill room that also had a Pepsi sponsored area. Pepsi sponsored the grill room. So when Star Wars Episode 1 came out, there were cutout, stand-up life-size cutouts, and there were inflatable soda cans and all this great Star Wars item everywhere. And they were going to auction or raffle everything off with tickets. So if you buy, all you had to do is buy an item from the grill room. So she'd buy a grilled sandwich and she'd get a ticket. She'd buy another one. And she did this like every day or every couple of days for weeks. So the day of the raffle finally came, and I called, she called me before coming home, and I said, did you happen to win anything? And she's like, no, I didn't win anything. I'm sorry. I went, oh, it's okay. Thanks for trying. And then fast forward to the end of the night, she comes home. I'm home first. She comes in the door and she said, I think you need you to come out to the car. The car's making a really funny sound. And I went, uh-oh, okay. So I walk her out, go to the car, open up the trunk, and there's the R2 cooler, which was the grand prize, by the way, for the raffle. And she taped a little thing, said beep boop on it. And it was such a cute thing for her to do, and it was a great surprise. So that's kind of my favorite collection, because it's such a great story that goes with it. Otherwise, in terms of something that I physically unboxed, I'd have to say, on the same, I don't know why I'm talking about coolers, but I have an episode 1 MTT cooler. It's like the big, if you remember from episode 1, the battle droid tank, not the tank, but the big vehicle that opened up and all the battle droids came out, which to me was the coolest scene in the movie. I mean, among so many cool scenes, but I just love seeing all those battle droids just line up. And they came out with a cooler that had like 10 soda can that had battle droid heads, you put the soda can in it, and you pull it out, and it looked just like the movie. And it was only available in Japan, but I finally was able to acquire one years later when everything died down, and that was it. So I think we are pretty much done. Okay. So again, thank you so much for watching. Check out my channel, Darth Tuba. Just look for it on YouTube. And also check out all the other stuff going on with the panels this weekend. We're still got a few more to go. Make-A-Wish needs help. Let's help them out and do the Get Vocal donation. So thank you so much. Thank you again, Justin. Thank you all for staying and watching. And may the Force and the Forcefest and the toys be with you.